Hi Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to Utterly Awesome Stamping. What I'm going to show you today is how to make this Christmas card made out of a set called For Unto Us. This is going to be my Christmas card this year, and I have several tips that will make it a little bit easier and faster for you to make this card. So let's reposition the camera and we will get started. I, by the way, have already made 120 of these. Yes, they are so much fun. I'll show you the inside. So it says, "Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, Merry Christmas." And I did add, I don't know, it's kind of faint. I took my gold pad Encore and just added a tree from Sensational Scenery. That set has been gone for so long. It's a wood-mounted set, but I just wanted a little tree or something inside, so you could add something to it if you want to. Okay, let me show you the set. It's called For Unto Us. And so I'm using Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Glory to the Newborn King, Merry Christmas. But there are other really nice greetings in here. All right, so first of all, let's look at this. We're going to be using 2 1/4 inches of gold foil by 5 1/2. And we're going to mount it on a piece of cardstock that's 11 by 4 1/4, folded in half at 5 1/2. And so you may wonder, well, why did you fold it that way? Okay, well, let me show you why I folded it that way. This is the Evergreen Forest embossing folder. And let's just pretend like this is the card. And this is the way most cards open, right? This way. Okay, now I want embossing on the on the top. And so I'm going to pull this out because I certainly don't want embossing on the back of the card. Okay, well, I can't, it opens this way. I can't put it in this way. I can't put it in from the top. I can't put it in from the bottom. The only way I can put it in is this way, and I don't want embossing on the back. So that is not going to work. So that's why we've got to cut the card 11 by 4 1/4. This way you can easily just stick it right down in, stick it all the way in. And then there's a tall tree, and I lined that up on the right side of the card. You are going to emboss both pieces at the same time. That way it's even, and it looks like it belongs. So here's what it looks like once it's embossed. So pretty and really very easy. Okay, now the next thing I want to highlight for you, let me just show you here, is how to do the greeting. There are 3 different ways that you could pull off getting this greeting stamped. I made 120 cards. Okay, so the first way you could do it is you could literally just mount your stamp on an acrylic block, stamp it on white cardstock with Versamark pad, put on your gold embossing powder, emboss it, get up and take it to the cutter and cut. Okay, I didn't want to do that 120 times. So I thought, okay, that's not going to work for me. So the second thought was, well, I could just cut out the circles, and then what I would do is mount my stamp on an acrylic block, and I could just keep positioning and stamping it 120 times. But then what if I stamped it and I went, oh no, this is too far to the left or too far to the right or too far up or too far down? Okay, that doesn't work for me. I really want it right in the center. I want it right where I want it. So this is how I ended up doing it. I used my Stamparatus. Okay, so what I'm going to show you how to do is make a template. And then you'll know exactly where to put the circle that you pre-cut out in so that it's going to match up perfectly. So let's just pretend, what happened to my cardstock? Okay, let's just pretend. Okay, this is 1/4 of a piece of cardstock. It's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And what I'm going to do, we'll just say this is Hark the Herald. We're going to stick it right there. I'm just pretending because my stamp's already positioned. Okay, so then I would lay it down, pick it up. I would put some ink on it, stamp it, and then I would take this over to the cutter, and I would use this, of course, and I would cut it out. Now, this is what I would end up with. I would end up with this. And what good is this going to do me? Okay, watch. I'm going to put this right back where I originally had it when I stamped. Now I'm going to take one of the pieces that I've cut out, and by the way, I didn't have to make 120 cuts. You can double your cardstock and cut 2 at a time, so I only had to make 55 cuts. I put on a good movie and I cut it 55 times. It really wasn't that hard. Okay, so now I'm going to put my cardstock right into that circle. Of course, you could do it with squares, ovals, and I'm going to try to catch that just a little tiny bit so that my cardstock doesn't pull up when my stamp pulls up. Make sure that it's good. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Versamark pad. I'm going to ink Hark the Herald Angels very nicely and stamp it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to add gold embossing powder to it. I could have put an embossing buddy on there, but I don't think I need it. Okay, all right, so then all I'm going to do is get out my heating tool. Okay, that was quick. I wouldn't have done that if it hadn't been really quick, but it was really quick. So there we go. Okay, so now our circle is all embossed and we are ready to go. So what I'm going to do is put a few little dimensionals on the back. And if you noticed when I was embossing, I wasn't waving the gun around all over the place. Just hold it steady in one place until you can see that the ink is starting to melt into the, until the powder is starting to melt down into the ink. And then just move it slowly until it embosses completely. Okay, so now we have our centerpieces done. All right, let's look at the inside. Now technically, you really could emboss the inside before you do the outside. Okay. You certainly can't mount the greeting on the front until you get the inside done. I've lost one of my magnets. Well, I don't know. It's stuck to something somewhere. I don't know where it is. Okay, so now, here's why I want the Stamparatus for this part of the project, because I want Glory to the Newborn King straight. And my particular stamp, it's not like you see, what you get is what you see. And so I had to really I put some practice paper in here. I just took computer paper, cut it 5.5 by 4.25, the exact size that my inside card was going to be, and I practiced until I got it straight. And the 2 stamps did not fit easily on the same plate. And so that's why I put one on the side plate and one on the top plate. Okay, there we go. So now, once again, I'll just pull in my gold embossing powder. Yep, I keep forgetting to use my embossing buddy. These things are really cool. Just go over your cardstock before you add the ink, and then the little pieces won't, the little specks of embossing powder will not stick anywhere. So let's move this out of the way. Very quickly, we will emboss this. Okay, boom, we're done. Okay, now one thing I forgot to tell you is that when you're doing these little circles, you are not going to put the ink and the embossing powder and then emboss it one at a time. What I did is I prepared 10 of these, set them aside, and then I embossed 10. What you do have to do is you have to apply the gold embossing powder as soon as you hit the Versamark ink on there. Because if you don't put the embossing powder, the Versamark ink will dry. But once you add the powder, it will easily hold long enough for you to set aside 10, go back and emboss them, then come back and stamp 10 more. So pretty easy. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put on our greeting with the dimensionals. So the whole idea here is if you're going to make a number of these, let's see how easy we can make it. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is add some of these gold, gorgeous gems. And I'm going to take a big one, add it here, take a medium-sized one here, and let's see, I could do another big one here, medium size here, small one here. Okay, we're done. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn king. So it's fine. If you want to leave it plain like this, it's just fine. If you want to add a little tree or a little something along the side, you can do that too. So thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. I hope that you'll be encouraged to consider trying this card for your Christmas card this year, or even next year if you want to be thinking for next year. So please check out my blog for all the details, which I've posted today, and then subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to see this video and many other videos that I've made. And again, thanks for joining me. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.